All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel here. Welcome to React and Chill. In this video, we'll be talking about Love Bites, comparing two songs. Both these songs I very much enjoy. I like them a lot. But the question was, that I asked before, was which one would you pick between the two? Well, let's take a look at how you guys voted. With 314 votes, thank you, that's pretty good for a small channel like this. Dissonance versus Set the World on Fire. It looks like the majority of you guys chose Set the World on Fire, which I understand why. I think I do anyway. I'm going to give you the reason why I think it went that way, and you let me know in the comment section if it's right. Now, let me just say, I very much enjoy both these songs. They both have there are similarities between the two. There's some strengths. There's a structure to the song that's similar, not perfectly identical, but very similar. Both these songs are telling a story, and the story is very grim. It is very dark. It is a story of violence. You know, Dissonance has this very numinous, like all-powerful, evil, sort of sinister sound to it. Set the World on Fire also has a very strong opening that is building up for something. The sort of opening that you would imagine would fit probably with a final boss battle or something like that. Or with an image, a landscape that would, let's say, from Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Like, Set the World on Fire sounds like it would fit that game. They both have that very sinister beginning sort of sound, right? But it's how it's executed that really makes it different. Between the two, and if you want something that's more straightforward thrash and doesn't get into any sort of like popish elements or doesn't give you any sort of break from the relentless, consistent drumming and the thrashing guitars, think Slayer cranked up to not 10, but to 11. You know, not even 11. To like 12, to like 15, to Love Bites level. Okay, which is like 99. Okay? Cranked up to over max. If you were to play this song to someone who is a metalhead, let's say they don't know what Love Bites is, and you're like, hey, check out this song, and you play it. What do you think they're going to say? They're probably going to say something in lines of, whoa, this sounds like Slayer. Like, what is this? This is badass. I mean, it is. And it does. But it's Love Bites. It's Love Bites doing thrash in a very intense way. Set the World on Fire, while it has like a very strong opening, very powerful and all that stuff, very sinister too, it's not straightforward, like relentless thrash the same way. There's differences here. You know, with dissonance, I butcher that word all the time. Dissonance. It is like intense palm muting, and then sometimes there's like this cool like riff that kind of happens like kind of behind everything and building up. Whereas with Set the World on Fire, there's this interesting thing happening in the verse where Asami will say something, and during that you'll have like the feedback of, not the feedback, you'll just have like the guitars airing out their distortion, you know, just airing it out. And after that, they do like their cool, like intense moment but it's done in a way that sounds like the bass is very much involved in it as well. It's like a digga 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 digga. You know, it's like it's a nice sound to it. It's very meaty. There's a lot of weight to it. It really gives the song like the strength that I think in some ways this song is stronger in that than Dissonance. Having that, because this song, Set the World on Fire, it really uses like, yeah, sure, you get some intense guitar work and intense drumming, but you also get space. And that space helps enhance everything else. Now, there is a big shift coming up very soon here, talking about the chorus. Dissonance, its chorus, it almost, like you could kind of miss it. It is there, but it just sounds like just a very gradual shift. It's not a change in the song. It doesn't change the tone of the song. It doesn't really shift it to a different thing altogether. Whereas with Set the World on Fire, you do get that. With Set the World on Fire, the chorus, it becomes very lively. It becomes more open. It becomes more like a little bit more relaxed. There's like this thing going on that's very cool, very almost just rock, very rock and roll. Like it just, there's this, dude, it's great. Of course we know it's great. But there's this sound, overall, I'll just say it's fun. It's a fun sort of sound, almost kind of poppyish because you take it out of the intense thrash and then you take it to a place that's more fun. And like I said before, like these songs are telling a story. You know, a while back I did a breakdown of what I thought was Set the World on Fire was. You know, I said Set the World on Fire with this numinous sounding kind of sinister beginning is like you're seeing a dragon on the horizon with fire everywhere. And on that dragon is our queen Asami. And she's the queen of the dragons, okay? And she's flying this dragon out. When the song gets all like when it shifts, when it comes a little bit more like loose, when it has that cool sound that's just kick ass, that's when she's setting a fire to the villains, to our enemies, to the bad guys, whatever they are, okay? Because they deserve it. And it's a righteous burning of evil or whatever. I don't know. There's something about this. So I like doing video game references, okay? I'm a gamer. So Dissonance is like, or Dissonance, wow, I'm horrible with that, right? Dissonance is the theme song for the boss battle, okay? Set the World on Fire is like the music for the stage. Does it make sense? Another big strength with Set the World on Fire is in its solo work, I think. Like the solo work is very slick, very fast, of course. It's longer. There's more of it than with Dissonance. With Dissonance, you do get these little licks here and there. And you do get a solo portion. And it's cool. It sounds nice. It sounds very crisp. It sounds sharp. It belongs. It fits the song. It doesn't take you out of the song. But it's kind of brief. It's short-lived. Well executed, but short-lived. And right after that, we get right back to the song. With Set the World on Fire, there's even a very cool build-up to the solo portion that is just, it takes you back to like the beginning, right? But actually, oh, man, I like how it's executed. You know, you get this use of one guitar coming in and this build up to it, and then the second guitar joins. You get that stuff going on and Set the World on Fire. With Dissonance, you don't really get that. A Dissonance is pretty much right out of the gate. They're all going, and they're going hard. They're going balls to the wall, man. Like, you're going to be headbanging. Your neck is going to hurt. You might need a neck brace after that. Set the World on Fire. You do get those intense, like, headbanging moments, but you get time for the song to breathe and build back up this this powerful sound. And when it's time for the solo, oh boy, is it not beautiful? Oh yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And then even after that, there's a cool little build up right back into the song as well. I think overall, looking at both these songs, well, I like them both. I think Set the World on Fire benefits from better execution. But I say that, but at the same time, Dissonance, I think, was designed to be straightforward thrash. Think something like MDO or Mastermind 01, just with much more intensity. Much more intensity. I would say Dissonance is much more intense than even Set the World on Fire. But I like them both. But I would have to agree. I would choose Set the World on Fire. I would. But like I said as well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want that straightforward, intense thrash sound, Dissonance is the way to go. If you want a song that tells a more complicated story that is really about setting the tone and it has this like grand, big sound to it, Set the World on Fire definitely is it. But that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? You let me know in the comment section. Y'all take it easy.